Hey everyone, this is Dean with DCA Crypto. Welcome to Uptober. I'd appreciate if you subscribe to my channel, smash that like button, and let's jump into it. Alright everyone, it is Uptober. As you guys know, October is the most bullish month for crypto as far as, pretty much most of the years in crypto, October has been a green month for Bitcoin. So hopefully this month follows the same pattern as previous cycles have, and October is usually a bullish month for crypto. We're going to jump into some things here and show you why I think the top of the cycle is still a long ways away. So let's jump into it here. So Bitcoin has been in this zone still for 7 months, all the way since basically February 24th, and we've just been back and forth, hitting resistance and support, resistance, support, resistance, support, resistance, support. And once we break through here, I think we're going to have, just an absolute banger of a bull run. That's what we're all hoping for. That's what we all need. Everything is still on track. I'm hoping by the end of October that we break through here. I'm going to show you some things in this video why I think we're not even close to the top of this cycle and some reasons for it, and why I think things are going to get extremely bullish over the course of the next several months here. Now, keep in mind, that doesn't mean we're not going to have some kind of big, deep corrections, because that will happen in crypto. But, even if we get a 30-40% correction on Bitcoin, once we start pumping up and making new all-time highs, that doesn't mean the bull run's over. We know that from last cycle. We had a big, 40% correction on Bitcoin right in the middle of the bull run. So those things do happen here. We have been really heated from earlier in the year, but we've had a long accumulation phase here. Everything is looking prime for a bull run here. Everything's still on track, and that's what we're going to go with for now until we see otherwise. Bitcoin did close its most bullish month in September, somewhere between 7 and 8%. I don't know if this is fully updated for the month of September yet, because I'm still recording this last night, so depending on the timing of this, where this website pulls its data from, but it has pulled its most bullish chart close for September in history of Bitcoin. And in the past, every time we've closed, it doesn't mean it's going to happen for sure, but every time we've closed in the green in September in the past, we've been followed by at least 3 months of green after that. So keep that in mind, and that's happened in 2015, 2016, 2023, and 2024. So even back in 2020, when we had that bull cycle after the halving, we had a red September. So but we had a red August, so hopefully we'll stay green here for the next few months, and hopefully we have a bullish October as well. Now, if we look at the Bitcoin chart here, we could come back down into, even into the low 50s and still stay in this range before we come up again and test these levels. We'll have to see what happens here. We could just be coming down a little bit and then try to break through, kind of like what we did here. We started coming down, and then we broke up and tested it again. Now that we've got some rate cuts in the cycle, and hopefully liquidity coming into the cycle here soon, and predictably, we may not get this breakthrough until November, when the next rate cut is supposed to happen. They're talking about possibly another 50-point rate cut for another 0.5%. So we'll have to see if that happens or not. But right now things are still looking good. And as I'm recording this video, it doesn't mean it's last night before this was recorded. So it is possible anything could happen overnight between when I'm recording this and when it gets out to you guys, but I can't help that with my schedule. If we go to the Bitcoin rainbow chart here, you can see this. We've just been in this zone here, and now we're still kind of dancing around the green area. I'm predicting we'll probably get up in the orange this bull run, just as a guess. We got up into the deep red back here in 2017 when we had that blow off top bull run. And then we got into the lighter red here last bull run, so maybe we'll only get into the orange, in this bull run here. But even if we do that, and if you look in the middle of 2025, that still puts us at between 150 and 200 and some $1,000 Bitcoin potentially. Even if we only get in the orange zone, that's still a very, very high price point for Bitcoin. Now, Some people are predicting that if Trump were to get elected, that'll push us to like 400,000 Bitcoin potentially, just because of how bullish Trump is about crypto and how much he's going to be pushing it, especially with his own DeFi platform, and hopefully some positive regulation. Some are saying if Kamala were to get elected, maybe we only get to $100-some thousand Bitcoin. No one really knows for sure. It really all depends on who keeps their promises with crypto, if Trump keeps his promises or not, or if, depending on what Kamala does, maybe something positive comes out of that, maybe not. We don't know. We don't really truthfully know where she personally stands on it and what her plans are for crypto. She has made a statement recently that she wants to make sure blockchain is successful in the United States, along with, I believe, artificial intelligence or something. But, hopefully that is the case, and hopefully no matter who gets elected, we get some kind of positive, really need positive legislation for crypto to happen. But, so far we're on track and looking good. I want to show you this next chart here because this is where I'm showing that we're not even close to the top. So let's jump into this here. So we're at the Pi cycle top indicator. These are some averages of Bitcoin here. They've got the 111 DMA and the 350 DMA times 2. Every cycle previously, when these two lines have touched or came really close to touching, that was pretty much the top of the bull run here, the peak of the bull run. You can see every peak here where these lines touched. That was basically where the peak was right here. There's another one where the peak was right where these touched. Last cycle, right where these touched, was a top for Bitcoin. We did have that big 40% correction and then made a smaller, slightly new all-time high. And in this cycle yet, we have not touched. We have not come close to touching yet, and they're actually moving further away from each other, which means that it may be quite a while before they start swinging back up together and start touching each other, potentially in 2025. It may be mid or late 2025 before that happens. But so far, this indicator has been pretty close to being very accurate on predicting the top or a top of the bull run. Now, some people are saying, if you look at these charts, these lines have actually crossed in the past. They actually crossed, and then back here in 2018, 2017, 2018, they didn't. They just touched. They barely crossed. And then last cycle, they just barely touched. So they're saying in this cycle, they might come really close to touching and not actually touch. Maybe there's a little bit of a bigger gap in there this time. They won't actually touch potentially. So we got to keep that in mind. We don't necessarily need to wait for those two lines to touch before the top of the bull run. But if they get close to touching, not like this isn't close. Close would be somewhere in here where they're just really close to touching. This here is more like this in 2019, where we had this run up in the middle of the, kind of the bear cycle before the halving, and we did it here. We came where they were starting to come closer together, and then they moved apart. So this Pi cycle top indicator is telling us that it's going to be a while before we get the peak of the bull run. So that's one of the indicators I'm looking at. I'm also going to be looking at kind of the rainbow chart. This really isn't truly an indicator. It's just kind of a like a guide based off of previous bull runs on the arc of Bitcoin and versus the colors on the chart. And anything in the blue is like, it's time to buy. It's a fire sale. The light blue is buy. The dark green is accumulate. And the light green is still cheap, and we're in the still cheap zone. And then yellow's hodl because we're going to start moving up into orange and red. So that's when we really need to start taking our profits out if we get up into this orange area here, just kind of as a guide. But the Pi cycle top indicator is probably a little bit more accurate than the Bitcoin rainbow chart. There's other things out there that we can take a look at as well once we get into the cycle, but these are kind of the Pi cycle top indicator is definitely one that I want to be looking at, and if they start mentioning anything about freezing interest rates, that's another indicator that maybe time to start cashing out, because that's when the big boys start moving their funds into safer investments to get ready for the crashes in the market, and moving their funds into the safer investments, because once they start increasing interest rates again, which they're not really predicting to start doing that for at least a couple of years, so we could have a little bit of a longer cycle this run, but I'm going to still be really careful and try to cash out most of my funds early, because you just don't know when the top is going to come, or some kind of black swan event, which is rare. We haven't really had one other than 2008, which was really before Bitcoin became a thing, as far as, anything on here. But we did have the COVID crash, in 2020. That was our black swan event that made Bitcoin dump pretty hard, but it did recover quickly and we went into a bull run. So that's kind of, where I'm at with this cycle. We are in Uptober now, so hopefully we have a bullish month. It doesn't mean we won't get a bit of a correction here in the beginning of the month and then take off hopefully towards the end of the month, and hopefully have a green close on October. We'll have to see what happens here. I know last month it was a little rocky in the beginning of October. It was kind of like, is this really Uptober? And then boom, later on in the month we started really taking off. So hopefully we have a green month this month and things start taking off. I know a lot of the projects are getting ready to launch because they are expecting a green month out of Uptober. And we're starting to see a lot of more crypto projects getting ready to advertise for their projects out there. I've had some people reach out to me asking to start doing videos for their projects and stuff. Projects that I've covered on my channel before that I've invested in and stuff like that. So you're starting to see some markets come to life, and these crypto projects are going to start doing marketing to try to push the prices of the coins up for this bull run, because it benefits everyone. It benefits the investors. It benefits the project, because their investors have, they have a vested interest in making the coins prices go higher. We have an invested interest in making the prices go higher. All of us out there that are involved in this, it's kind of like everybody's trying to get the price of these coins up higher so we can all cash out. But just remember, guys, less than 10% of people actually make money in crypto. So don't be the foolish ones thinking that we're going to go to Mars and we only go to the moon. So just keep that in mind and keep that phrase in the back of your head. You may think we're going to keep going higher and higher and higher and higher, and then we don't. So be careful out there. Make sure you take your profits out, guys. But don't forget to check out my Telegram. That's absolutely free. The link is in the description below and the pinned comment as well. And my Discord membership, that is through Patreon. The links will be down below for that as well. My private community. I will be sharing all of my sells and buys in this bull run when I'm taking profits, right as I'm doing them, so everybody knows and everybody is aware in my community when I'm selling my coins and when I'm taking my profits out. It's not to have you guys follow me, because I really honestly don't want you guys out there copying me or following me. Make your own decisions on when you're doing stuff. I'm just sharing with you guys what I'm doing so people don't think that I'm being deceptive or trying to pump and dump coins or anything like that. I'm going to be taking my profits out in chunks on the way up. I'm not just going to be hard selling everything unless something crazy happens. Sometimes you get a project that pumps like 10, 20, 30x in 1 week, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to sell a bunch of this because it's probably going to have a big cool off. But you really have to be careful in the bull run when you're selling. You don't, typically, and this is not financial advice, guys, you typically don't want to sell everything all at once, because usually you can wait for a correction and pick up a little bit more, and then we take off again. But you have to be really careful of that in the cycle, because the other thing is you don't want to sell all of them, because you want to leave some in case it does continue to go higher. So I'm probably going to sell, typically 10 or 20% of each coin at a time, so I still have some in the skin in the game in case we keep going higher and have a longer extended bull run. But I'm going to be definitely heavily taking profits out towards the, probably the end of the first quarter of next year, and then leave some in for the second half of the year in case we keep going up towards the end of the year. But I'm still expecting, potentially, not guaranteed, kind of a red summer like we've had in the past. So typically that sell in May, go away thing has been real for crypto over the last, the last cycle or so. So I definitely want to be careful with that. But that's pretty much what I got for this video, guys. Please hit the like button. It really does help with the YouTube algorithm. If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you on the next video.